everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige. Today I want to tell you some of my favorite male book narrators. So over the past year I have been reading more and more audiobooks. I feel like I can get more accomplished when I'm reading an audiobook. There are times when I just cannot sit down to read, to give an ebook or a physical book my attention. So I am able to do things that, chores and whatever that I need to do while also listening to an audiobook and getting that book read. So today I wanted to talk about some of my favorite male book narrators that I have listened to over the past year. I will be doing another video for my favorite female book narrators. So just recently I discovered Jason Clark. He narrated A Lie for a Lie by Helena Hunting and When Sparks Fly by Helena Hunting. Those are two audiobooks that I've, kind of listened to recently, and when I heard his voice, I never heard an audiobook. I never heard him narrate an audiobook before those two, and as soon as his voice came into my headphones, I always listen to it with my headphones, I was like, wow. His voice is just so enticing. It's so beautiful to listen to. He has a very, very, very intriguing and just sexy voice, and he narrates these audiobooks so perfectly. I absolutely adore listening to him read these books, and I am looking forward to future audiobooks that he narrates. Another favorite of mine is Jacoby Diem. He is also so amazing, and when I hear his voice, I just instantly swoon and fall in love with him. His voice is just so deep and sexy, and I'm just here for it. So I've actually listened to quite a few audiobooks that Jacoby has narrated. I've heard him narrate the Grip series by Kennedy Ryan, the Flow, Grip, and Still. Those are all in the same series. I've heard him narrate Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan, and also Hookshot, which is in I think it's the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan. And then I also recently heard him narrate the McLean Brothers series by Alexandria House. He, I think, narrated all of them. And I know that he narrates more, like, I just recently read Real, but I didn't have the audiobook for it, unfortunately. I was so devastated because I knew that he narrates that one and I just really wanted it, but I didn't have access to it. So I had to read the ebook. So with ebooks, I either read it off my phone or iPad, or I have Alexa read it to me, and it's such a letdown when I have to let Alexa read it when I know that one of my favorite narrators have, read the audiobook, but I go for whatever I have available. So in the Green Creek series by TJ Klune, I read the first one, Wolf Song, by ebook, but the rest I read by audiobook. And Kurt Graves narrates these books in TJ Klune's series, and I love how he spins these characters because he changes his voice, his accent on them all, and so each one sounds unique, but it's by the same guy. But I really fell in love with his voice in Raven Song. He gave, I can never remember his name in the book, but it's the witch in the book, and he gives his character this kind of twangy accent, and I loved it so much. I fell in love with his voice in that book, and then he continues on narrating the rest of the books in the series, and I love how he can do each one separately and uniquely, and I just think that that's a lot of talent, and I really enjoyed the series so much more because of Kurt Graves' narration. Another one that I have found that I like his voice is Joe Arden, and the audiobook that I've listened to him is Sugar and Gold by Emma Scott. So far I don't have a ton of audiobooks by all of these that I've listened to because I'm still kind of newish at audiobooks and I kind of have limited selections. But I I also did really enjoy his narration also. I just recently listened to The House by the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and Daniel Henning narrated that book, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful. In this book, we see a lot of different characters and a lot of children characters, and they are also not just children, but like these magical creatures. And he does voices for each of them, and they're so unique, and I thought that it was just so creative, and he's very talented by being able to do this, and it just brought so much more to the book because each of these characters in this book has like their own voice by Daniel Henning, and I really commend Daniel Henning on this audiobook. It's delightful. If you read this book, I really recommend the audiobook. Another one that I really like is Aiden Snow, and I heard him narrate No Tomorrow by Carrie Cole and Asher by Carrie Cole. Of course, I've read all of Carrie Cole's books, but those are two of them that I listened by audio, and I really enjoyed his narration of those. Another one that I finished up just today, actually, is Confess by Collin Hoover, and Sebastian York narrated that one, and I really enjoyed his voice. There's just ones that really stand out to me, and he just has like this deep voice that I love deep voices. And as soon as I heard his voice too, I was like, yep, definitely writing it down because it's one that I love and hope to hear again in another narration. Another one that I think is really talented because he can do, you know, different kind of voices, accents type thing is William Leroy. He narrated the 3 books in Megan Quinn series. I cannot ever remember the series name. The first book in the series was narrated by somebody else, but the last 3 books in the series is narrated by William Leroy. And this series revolves around these group of brothers. It's 4 brothers, and each book is about one of them, but they're all seen in every book, and he does all of their voices differently. And you can always tell like who is talking because it's different. And of course and then when they get their own book, it's also the same, you know, sound of their voice as it's been throughout the entire series. So I really love that. I enjoyed reading those books. I love that series as well, but I also greatly enjoyed the audiobooks. He did a fantastic job with that narration. Another one that I really like is Guy Locke. I heard him narrate the series by Telly Cole. I don't know what the series is called, but it's Raise, Reap, Riot, and Ravage, and he did a fantastic job with those. Of course, these are all different characters as well that he narrated for. And then he also narrated The Butterfly Project by Emma Scott. I really did enjoy all of these as well. I just read this a few days ago by audiobook, and I had to add his name to the list as well. His name is Rupert Channing, and he narrated Managed by Kristen Callahan. This is the 2nd book in the VIP series, and the man, the hero in this story is British, and so Rupert Channing read this with a British accent. And of course, I love accents. I love different accents from, you know, all over the world. And so I loved hearing this in his British accent. There is one book that I want to go reread because of an accent, and that is one of the books in the Puck series because he is a Scottish player, and I need to go reread that and just somehow acquire the audiobook. I need to just buy it and have it so I can read it because I need to listen to it with his Scottish accent. I just love that so much. And the last one I have is Rock Ingle, and he narrated The Wreckage of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. Loved this one as well. Did a fantastic job with the narration, and of course. Always love Brittany C. Cherry. So anyway, those are some male book narrators that I have listened to and loved. I am loving audiobooks more and more. I really prefer that now because I lead such a busy life and it just works better for me most of the time, and it really sucks when I have to rely on Alexa, especially after reading these phenomenal audiobooks and then having to kind of go to Alexa with her monotone robot voice is not quite as appealing, but I still am very thankful for that service because sometimes, like as I was doing my hair and makeup for this video, I was having Alexa read me a Kindle Unlimited book. So anyway, those are some of my favorites. Let me know if you enjoy audiobooks and who your favorite narrators are. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.